It started like any ordinary morning, or so I believed. The first thing that caught my eye was an envelope resting neatly on the kitchen counter. My name stretched across it in his familiar handwriting. At first, I thought it was nothing more than a quick note. Maybe he had left for work early or gone to see his mother. But the moment I held it, an uneasiness settled in my chest. Something about it felt different, almost like it carried an ending. The house itself felt wrong. Too quiet, too still, as though it already knew what I hadn't yet realized. His shoes weren't by the door. The bed was left unmade. Little details screamed that something was missing. My hands shook as I held the envelope. The silence around me felt heavy, pressing in like the pause before a storm. With trembling fingers, I tore it open. 2 words stared back at me, stealing the breath from my lungs. "Goodbye, Emma." The rest of the letter unfolded like a confession, but it wasn't mine. It was his. The words weren't bitter or rushed. They were calm, deliberate, heartbreakingly clear. He wrote that he had known for a long time. Ever since that night, I came home carrying the faint scent of someone else's cologne. The same night, I swore I had been working late. From then on, he noticed everything. The calls I took behind closed doors, the extra showers, the nights I claimed were spent with friends but weren't. He had seen through it all. What shattered me wasn't just that he discovered the truth. It was that he never confronted me. Instead, he waited, giving me the chance to admit myself, hoping I would, praying I would, but I never did. He wrote that he had watched me drift further away, watched me become someone he could no longer reach, no matter how hard he tried. Every day, a piece of him crumbled until there was nothing left but emptiness. Yet, his words carried no hatred, and that was the cruelest cut of all. If he had screamed or cursed me, it might have felt like the punishment I deserved. But instead, his voice on the page was steady, almost gentle, even as it revealed his pain. He told me he loved me enough to let go, because staying would only destroy us both. That was the moment it hit me. I had already destroyed everything. The letter slipped from my shaking hands as I collapsed to the floor, sobs racking my body. The guilt was suffocating, but heavier still was the realization of what I had thrown away. I had traded something real, steady, and rare for something shallow and fleeting. The man I betrayed wasn't just my husband. He was the one who folded my laundry when I forgot, who rubbed my back when anxiety gripped me, who made my coffee exactly the way I liked it, who pressed a gentle kiss on my forehead every night before bed. He had loved me in quiet, thoughtful ways I never fully saw until it was too late. I tried calling him, but his number was disconnected. I sent texts, emails, even went to his office, only to find out he had taken indefinite leave. That was when I realized this wasn't a rash decision. He had planned it carefully, not out of anger, but out of heartbreak. He needed to leave the life we had built, needed to leave me. The days that followed blurred together. I replayed every moment I had ignored, the way his eyes lingered at dinner, waiting for words I never gave, the nights when he reached out and I pulled away, the mornings he asked, "Are you okay?" and I smiled through my lies. For a while, I held on a hope that maybe he would return, that somehow we could rebuild. But weeks turned into months, and eventually, I heard through friends that he had moved to a smaller town and started over. He never spoke badly of me. All he ever said was that it simply didn't work out. In time, I wrote a letter back, not with excuses, not with reasons, but with one truth. I was wrong. I loved him, and I ruined something pure, because I didn't know how to hold on to real love. I never received a reply. I didn't expect one. His farewell had already been spoken. That letter still sits tucked away in a drawer I almost never open. It remains as a reminder of the kind of love that once lived in my life. Quiet, patient, and unwavering. A love I didn't lose because it failed me, but because I failed it.